call the meeting to order. And first order of business is minutes from the last two meetings. So let's start with September 27th. Any changes?
I don't think I have any on this one. I'll make a motion to accept the meeting minutes of September 27th as presented.
Second motion.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
I have one change on the October 4th. On line 75, it should say spring cut instead of sprint cut. I mean,
Somewhere.
I can't be the only one that hasn't heard of the sprint cut. And then I'll make a motion to accept the meeting minutes of October 4th as presented,
As amended.
as amended. Thank you.
Second motion.
All those in favor?
Aye. I have non-public meeting minutes from September 27th. I'll make a motion to approve those as presented. There.
Second motion.
In favor?
Aye. And then this is the first non-public meeting minutes from October 4th. And I'll make a motion to accept those as presented.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye. This is the second non-public meeting minutes of October 4th, and I will make a motion to accept those as presented.
Second.
All those in favor? Aye.
Thank you.
All right. Just updates on a couple of things. I will, going back to the previous meeting, we talked about a response to the New Hampshire Highland Games. I will officially let them know that we will consider their request for a contribution as part of the 2022 budget process that'll go through the board, budget committee, town meeting, etc.
Perfect. Thank you for that.
That contribution was specifically for the police detail, or to be used towards the
Towards
police.
the detail, right. Is there any update on that RFQ for the town building?
Yes. The building committee had a meeting with, can't write and talk at the same time, with Ray about that, and the committee has decided to go in a different direction with the RFQ. Ray is going to prepare that and get it to Al prior to our next meeting, which is scheduled November 9th? No. 5th? November something.
It's a Thursday.
I don't think it's a Thursday. Anyway, next month. And once the committee approves that, then it'll come to the selectmen for their approval before it goes out.
Okay,
Ray just had a valid and good suggestion to go in a different direction with it instead of going with the project manager process. Instead, start with an architectural firm. And that's, he wants an RFQ for architectural firms versus just a contract, project manager.
okay,
So once he gets that to the committee and they approve it, then I will bring that to you, us, for approval before it goes out.
all right. Then the next thing is, that at this point, there is no update on the town manager position. We were hoping to have some
I
news.
expect there will be one next
There
week.
is no news to share at this point. It's going through the process. I think we're all encouraged with where we stand, but it's taking longer than we want.
Live by the expression, no news is good news.
Yes,
Yes,
in this
yes,
case, absolutely.
yes. We've been asked, and I think this is through the town's auditor, to have the current Board of Selectmen sign the credit card policy for the town employees. So if someone wants to make a motion, we're not changing anything from the one that was adopted in 2018, other than to change the signatures on it because there's a different board here. A motion to reconfirm the credit card policy as of October 18th, 2021.
So moved.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
To be signed. The ongoing legal issue with the two South Peak lawsuits. We want to have a non-public meeting this week, and if agreeable, we will provide the options of Wednesday morning between 9 and 11, or Thursday between 9 and 2 as options that the three of us can meet.
Yeah.
We will meet in public, immediately go into non-public with representatives and interested parties. And then we will come out of non-public, and if there's any announcements, motions, or whatever to be made, we'll do that in public.
Yeah.
But then we will bring them forward at next Monday's meeting for a
Announcements.
repeat announcement or motions.
We don't intend to discuss any other town business unless something pressing comes up between now and then. The intention is just.
Just that one issue. And we will post that as required, but we don't have
As
a
soon as we know.
date from the other party yet.
You sent that email, yes?
Correct.
Okay, as soon as we get, we'll let you know so you can post it.
And with that, is there any business that you wanted to bring up?
Yes, at the last meeting, I had mentioned that I would talk with the folks over in the town of Conway. And in your packet, you'll see the report. They had a committee that met 13 times over a year's period and come up with some short-term rental recommendations. The voters rejected the warrant articles to define the STRs in their zoning ordinance and to place them on the permitted use table with certain conditions, and the conditions are outlined in this document. Some of it pertains to fire issues, Ron, fire pits, inspections, et cetera. I don't know if you've read this. They are in court at the present time over this, whether they will be permitted in a residential district. The committee had indicated that it should be a permitted use with certain restrictions, with these restrictions. So consequently, I suggest we look them over and see if we want to adopt similar type for the short-term rental policy in the town of Lincoln. And the gentleman with the town manager, Tom Holmes, very nice to talk with, said if we need anything, let us know.
Thank you.
Yeah, thank you. So it's certainly more than we can digest right now, but
Right, yeah, I
interesting.
definitely want to read through.
It's something where we don't need to reinvent the wheel. They've cited all the RSAs that are
Right.
pertinent.
Right.
And, I think, take a look at it.
The one other thing I forgot was in the folder is we got a notice from the state on the meals and rentals distribution. The meals and rentals tax gets distributed amongst the towns based on a population formula. Our distribution calculated for this year, 2021, is $128,893.75.
Did you see the
which-
total? The total for the state?
Yeah, it's 100.
No, yeah, 100, no, 1 billion, not a billion. Did I read it wrong?
100 million.
100 million, okay.
$100 million gets distributed. And the total increase is up about 45% over last year. But again, last year,
Right,
most places were closed for
Right.
months and months at a time, so that's,
last year was the anomaly.
yeah,
Yeah.
it's,
How does it compare to the year before that?
they don't say, and I don't remember.
Is that money earmarked or you gotta use it for certain things?
No, it just goes into the general fund to offset taxes.
It could be used for raises for the selectmen, Roger.
No, it just goes into the general fund, and when we calculate the tax rate, all of the revenues get deducted to see what's left to raise by taxes.
I'm just curious.
Yeah, no. Nothing special. Tammy, did you have anything?
I did.
Go ahead.
I spoke to Ray also when I met with him the other day about the PORs. Remember that was one of the
Yep.
things on our
Yep.
goals list, and he is going to work on very simple, but an agreement that defines responsibilities for the PORs in town. He's gonna
Okay.
work on that.
Okay, good.
Also, because we don't have somebody in the corner office right now, I was talking with Jonas about budgets and whatnot and have emailed all the department heads to have their budgets into Jonna this week. And then next week, I'll sit with Jonna and meet with those department heads to get the budget to come to us. So we should have that in a couple of weeks. We'll have the budget. And I wanted to ask, did you ever get the cemetery minutes from the cemetery meetings?
I've emailed them. They're not good
No
with it,
response.
Tammy. This has been
What
going
about
on
the
for-
library minutes
years.
from, because that's also trustees, do we have minutes from the library meetings? So we need to,
I have sent them and told them and
Mhm.
okay.
maybe you can.
I will work on
follow
that.
up note.
I'll send a love note. If OJ and Jack is okay with that, I will send a love note to both boards
Absolutely.
of trustees and,
Yep, just ask.
yep, very nicely. Because I'm good at that. Okay, I'll follow up on that. That's all I had. You crossed other things off my list before.
Okay, did you want to ask or discuss anything on in general for the budget, employee raises at this point? Or do you want to,
Do we want to, or do we want to wait until it comes, why don't we wait till it comes to us here? And you have the budget in front of you, and then we'll talk about that.
in context of the whole budget
Correct.
rather than just,
Correct.
that's
Yep.
fine with me.
Okay,
Where do we get the whole budget?
yeah.
Okay. All right, and Jane, I didn't know, do you have any update as to what's happening with the cleaning contract?
I do. So. I'm just trying to. word
I'm the
this
new cleaner.
Correctly, so, the cleaning company that we were contracted with, the person, the owner, will no longer be cleaning here. But I told her I would help her find somebody, which I did. They're going through the background process. I know them personally. She's like a daughter to me, very reliable. So she will be covered under Twin Rivers Workman's Comp liability insurance. So that we're clear of that, as opposed to just bringing somebody in who doesn't have it and just letting them start cleaning here and then potentially get injured. So that paperwork is, right now, it is going through the channels, background check has to come back.
Right.
And we'll still be able to commit to the remainder of the contract, which goes to 23. And it will simply be the company, which we've had no problems with up here, but it'll be
Right.
the employee, and this person will just be cleaning upstairs though, and I.
Not downstairs.
No, and I discussed that with Chad.
Okay, Chad knows that.
Oh, yeah, I
And
wouldn't
is he still looking for his own?
have- we need,
We'll discuss that with Chad.
Okay,
yeah, probably.
I know that the community center, Recreation Department Community Center put out an RFQ for, is this person not interested in doing over there as well? Any ideas? Have you spoke to Tara?
She's getting the responses to
Oh, okay.
that.
But hasn't got there yet.
But this
That's fine.
person is an employee of our current cleaning company.
Gotcha.
So if they choose to go out to bid, that'll be, to do the community center,
Gotcha,
and they
gotcha.
do our library as well.
Okay, perfect.
So hopefully you'll have an answer sooner than later, but in the
Excellent.
interim, doing toilets and all that good stuff.
Yeah. I was on trash duty. Me and John did trash duty the other night. We got it done.
You do what you gotta do.
Absolutely. I cleaned the corner office.
Well, thank you to the current staff for
Agreed.
picking up, and hopefully this is gonna be very short term, assuming the background check comes in okay,
Yeah,
and,
right.
and we can move on with that
It will.
new, same company, new
Correct.
person of that company, so. All right, if there's nothing else, I'll open up public. All right, public participation. Anyone wanna,
Kick on and Dutch.
go ahead?
We're both going to raise the same point.
Probably the same point.
Can you just state your name for the record?
Norman Bartlett,
Thank you.
and I live on the narrowest part of Pollard Road.
Uh-huh.
And I have some concerns about the traffic on Pollard Road. Both in its, probably in the amount of traffic that's there on weekends, particularly, and most of my remarks are gonna be made for last, October 12th weekend. So, Columbus Day. I was home from Friday through Monday. Probably never left my yard, certainly didn't try and drive anywhere. And I'm concerned about the volume of traffic and the speed at which they travel. And I can say, because I was there and out in my yard most of the time, I did not see one law enforcement vehicle on that road from Friday night through Monday afternoon. And I'm concerned about it, and I'm concerned, everybody's jogging, walking children, walking dogs, walking bikes, everything else out there. And I would honestly say I see people doing double the speed limit because they come off the kink, they come down by the common man, and they think they got a straightaway. And I'd like to make that, my comments is I think it needs to be addressed. And I'd like to know what your thoughts are on it, both from an enforcement standpoint and maybe some kind of way of controlling it.
May I comment real quick?
Sure.
Saturday and Sunday of this past weekend. Saturday, at about, shortly after noon time, because I had my lunch with me in the car. And I went up and down Pollard Road about 4 times, I'd say, from the camp, because I also live on Pollard Road. And when I was heading home with my lunch, I saw the volume of traffic and I'm like, oh, hell no. So I went down to the Kank Motor Lodge and turned around and went 15 miles an hour in my car with the whole line of traffic behind me.
Mhm.
And then, and then turned around right at the entrance to your road, did a little U-turn right there and went back and did it again 4 times.
Yep.
And in the 4 times I did it, every single time I went by, there was an officer that sat at the sign place.
Lincoln sign.
Lincoln sign right there at the thing. And every single time I went by, the other way, they had someone stopped. That 4 times I went by, 4 different vehicles. Sunday, when I came back from the farm, it was closer to about 3:30 or so in the afternoon. I was in my van, did the same thing. Although this time I spent almost an hour and a half driving up and down that road, going 15 miles an hour just to slow the traffic down because it irks the shit out of me. And that time I almost put a car into the rock wall in front of the field house because he was gonna pass me. So I did one of these and he almost, so, and again, I saw an officer at the sign place and then they were at the community center. So there was absolutely, positively, definitely cruisers on that road Saturday and Sunday. Monday, I don't know about because I wasn't around Monday, but there were absolutely officers there on
Yeah.
Sunday, Saturday and Sunday.
All right, I'm Phil Robinson. I live at 211 Pollard Road, so I'm in the worst possible place. And I mean by the worst possible place is that is now becoming more or less a motorway. I can safely say, very safely say, that cars regularly travel there on every Friday. So that's the start of the weekend, everybody heading in throughout the Saturday, but the worst time is Friday afternoon and Sunday afternoon. And I can safely say cars travel regularly at 45 to 50. That is just about the norm, right? But there are times when I've seen cars going there at 60 and 70 miles an hour without even a question, right? We sit opposite, we live opposite the community centre. That's a school. That's a child's school. And nobody takes any notice of that. And I can safely say, I've actually had police officers, because we call the police officer in on a few occasions about this. And they recognise the issue, but we never see anybody. Never see anybody at the community
I
centre.
never see them.
I'm right next door to you,
Where-
literally my son's house, right next door. Right, Norm's garage,
Oh,
my son's house.
oh, hello
Hi,
there.
neighbor.
Hello there,
Hi.
neighbour. I was so new. So-
I've talked to your
Yeah,
dog
I can-
before through the
and- oh,
fence.
all right, then I'll take it further. And
Yeah.
I've actually suggested to your son that what we do, because we're the ones with the fifth wheel
Mhm.
trailer. And I'm actually to a point where I'm gonna park that thing on one side of the road. I'm gonna put my truck on the other side of the road, because it's the only way we can get clowns to start slowing down.
You're on the widest part of the
You know what?
road.
I did the same as you. This last weekend,
Yeah.
I actually pedaled up and down that road in the middle of the, not the center of the road, in the center of my
Travel
carriageway,
lane.
so legally. And I had people hammering past me.
And they don't
Sometimes
have a
Absolutely.
stop sign
Before
either.
too long,
Yeah.
a child's gonna get killed, a dog's gonna get killed, or an adult's gonna be killed. Sorry, I
right.
didn't want to steal your thunder. That's all I want, because it is getting to a point where it is unbearable. And I can certainly see, we were sat at the back of our house, and you can't even hear somebody else talking to you because of the road noise. And I'm not worried about that. It's the speed.
He's right.
The Pollard Highway. I absolutely
It is
agree.
Pollard Highway.
That's what we
Good
called
word.
it this
Yeah.
weekend,
Yeah.
Pollard Highway. I agree 100% on the traffic. There's no question. I disagree on the police officers' part because I saw them there.
Yeah,
I-
and
not
I'm
on
not getting
Monday.
at police officers, by the way. I know they've got
Right.
a lot to do.
I
but
didn't
it
see
is
them Monday,
awful.
but Saturday and Sunday, I absolutely saw them both days. Monday, I wasn't around, so I didn't see them then.
Well, that four-way intersection, they come down Pollard Road, they don't even stop to slow down and look. They just cut across, and if somebody else is coming, good luck.
I think that's why the officers were
Probably
sitting right
three
there.
times in the course of the summer have I seen a cruiser down there.
I see them all the
And
time.
I refuse to drive the roads of this town on the weekends.
Roger?
There's a 225 mph speed limit on that road.
Yes.
My car's got one of those things that tells you when it recognizes one. It recognizes one, but the one by JJ Bijou,
Mhm.
it's in amongst the trees. I mean, you can see it now because the leaves are gone. But I think they ought to be
Good
more
to
than.
know.
Actually, you're right.
No, that's good to know. Thank you for that.
the
Because
only-
we'll have it moved, or we'll have the tree trimmed or something.
Just gotta move it down 10 feet. then they can see it.
Exactly.
But
Yeah.
I think there ought to be a couple more put down through the road there. I mean, 'cause
the only
if they come
speed-
on the side road, they didn't see the sign because they already gone by it.
True.
Yeah, the one at our end of Pollard is a small sign, and that's the only one. It says radar enforced, and we all know that's a joke, because there is no radar.
They do.
enforcement.
They were there. They were there. I saw them.
I've never seen anybody pulled over.
I did 4 times on that, on Saturday. Every time I went by, I'm in my little green mini, they had a different car pulled over. I was laughing. They definitely did.
What would you think of a, you're driving down Route 3 into Woodstock, North Woodstock?
Mhm.
There's that permanent speed.
You mean how the one where you go fast to see how fast you can go going by?
Do you?
No,
But I
no.
know kids do that.
Well,
I don't know, I just,
Radar trailer.
just.
no, not the
No,
trailer,
it's a permanent,
permanent.
yeah.
Permanent,
Sign just gives you your speed.
gives you your speed.
Yeah.
I mean, I know sometimes I just get
Well,
distracted. There's one in Holderness, right when you're going down the hill in front of whatever that ice cream place is on the left.
Mhm.
And then there's another one coming the other way into Holderness downtown, right before you get to the gas station convenience store that's on the left, the lake's on the right. There's one right there coming in.
Yep, yep.
They have it on both sides of town, and I tell you, every time
Now,
I'm
the
going
way-
there, it slows me down.
I think Woodstock got theirs, I want to say through a grant or something, a participation with the state.
do those machines record how many have gone over us?
I don't
Don't
know.
know.
They
It's a good
some of them
question.
That'll have a blue light that goes on when you go.
It is?
45.
It's got a camera on it?
I think it's got a counter on it.
Oh,
So
okay.
every time
Okay.
you trip it, it tallies to the score.
So in the UK, I can go and get you a few from the UK. We have speed cameras everywhere,
Oh, yes.
and they all take the photograph of the vehicle, record the speed, and issue a fine immediately.
Really?
That road
Yes.
would pay for it, that camera will be paid for
Yeah,
within, I was gonna say within a week.
they do it in
At the
Scotland.
moment.
I know that for sure.
Maybe we could get Nate or Chad to look into the cost of a sign and if there's any matching grant type things available.
I
for
have
that.
to actually talk to both of them tomorrow. Do you want me to?
Yeah,
And
yeah.
I'll reiterate with
How
this.
about speed bumps?
That's what I was thinking too. I want to talk, they have temporary ones that go down like just in the summer. Obviously, we
Like
can't
they
have
do
them.
During Highland Games.
Yeah, we can't have them in the winter because it's a plowing
Yeah, right,
nightmare.
Right.
But it could be something in the spring and go through the summer, have those
Certain holiday
temporary.
weekends.
I will ask him, I'll ask Nate his thoughts on that.
All right.
The alternative is what, as I suggested, some form of chicane.
Yeah.
Because as long as the vehicles have to slow down, it doesn't matter what that is. And that's why I wasn't joking, but what's your son called? Is he Arnold?
Arnold, yes.
Yeah, I wasn't joking when I was talking to Arnold about that. Actually parking one vehicle on one side, one vehicle on the other. So, it's safe passage for anybody.
Right.
But they have to slow right down. And then it's not getting in anybody's way.
Right.
Have we tried the radar trailer down there at all, do you know?
I'd love to.
I've never seen it,
Or maybe we start with a little change. It might change the mindset of
Yeah.
slowing down, that knowing that their eyes upon you.
Yeah.
And then look into some of the options, like you said, the speed bump. And the fact that Timmy's gonna talk with both Nate and the police, I think it's a step in the right direction. Like you said, Norman, you certainly don't wanna go after the fact when some elderly person or kid gets
Right,
run over.
Exactly.
dog or something.
But
yeah.
again, I mean, being realistic, we can't have law enforcement there 24/7. And we know that it could be a drunk driver at 2 a.m. bombing down there, gonna go through somebody's building or something.
Right,
So, you do the best you can when you have the manpower.
but something, I mean, even if, well, I tell you the truth, an empty cruiser parked in somebody's driveway up there would probably be a deterrent more than what's going on now.
They used
Yeah,
Well, I think-
until the locals catch on and go, ah.
Yeah, but
that's-
I think,
I mean, if it's-
So much the locals, Tim.
It's,
if we put a
I'm not
sign,
Well, that's what I was gonna say, no matter, whatever we come up
let
with,
Jack finish.
if
Oh,
we
sorry.
put a sign on the hearse that's parked in Tammy's thing, this could be you in here, slow down. That might send the
That's a
message.
good one. That's-
Might send the message.
This happened last week. This happened last week.
Yes.
Yeah.
Crash car with this happened last week. You've got to catch their eye, I think.
But joking aside, I nearly asked about using the mannequin.
oh, yeah, Dale,
Yeah, and just to help, I told you,
that's Dale.
yeah,
No matter what we come up with, whatever, that Chad or Nate, we have to make sure that, or keep in mind, Columbus Day weekend turns it into Pollard Highway, and
Right.
we'll have to try to make more of an effort next year. Regardless of what we come up with, that's gonna have to be a concentrated weekend.
Well, it just close it down at Dodge Place. Everybody thinks it's skirt and gets routed to Dodge Place.
Right,
You know, if you put up I was thinking the same thing, some sort of a barrier on weekends like that, that the locals know to go around to get home, but the tourists don't.
They thought they were doing good. and all
Just
of a sudden
saying.
They're right back to Main Street.
right.
Exactly,
Well-
exactly.
Because, and that's where, there needs to be some traffic control, because it seems like they figure they get past Dodge Place, then they can just take off.
Yeah.
They do stop for the stop signs, but I hear them trying to decelerate enough to slow down by Church Street.
There's definitely an issue, there's a problem, and you're absolutely right. We need to address it.
Okay, thank you.
No, thank you.
Thanks for bringing that to us. Jim?
Ken mentioned speed bumps. That's how Deer Park for 30 years. They had the removable speed bumps,
Yeah,
they had the speed dips, they've got the permanent speed
Yeah.
bumps. it doesn't slow them down,
No,
especially SUVs. They're designed to go. over
oh, I
those.
agree there. I fly over it on my pickup truck, but it would slow down my Mini.
And if you put speed bumps in,
Because they tear the bumper off if I
You're
didn't.
not helping.
I know.
You're saying some negative things here.
you're gonna have to put one every 100 feet.
Yeah,
Because the minute they go over one, they're on the gas and 50 feet past it, they're back up to 35, 40, 45 miles an hour. You're gonna have to have them every 100 feet, or they're not gonna work at all.
yeah.
One or two of them on that road, not gonna do it really good.
Yeah, again, I don't think we're gonna solve the problem, but I think we could affect the problem.
Yeah.
Same thing with a cruiser. I mean, if you park the cruiser at the community center, they're gonna be speeding, maybe not in front of your house, but they will in front of yours.
Right.
Okay?
Yeah.
We can't have 12 cruisers, 13 signs, but I think we need to take steps. I like the idea of clearing the trees at the sign by JJ's house.
Yes.
Or moving the sign by JJ's house.
Yep, I have that on my list.
Add additional signage.
Yep.
See about putting the trailer there for now, and if that's effective.
Yep.
Maybe do a permanent sign like North Woodstock has. Maybe experimenting with temporary speed bumps, and I love the empty cruiser, and yes, the locals are gonna get used to it. But it's not the locals who are there on Friday night,
Exactly.
Saturday and
Yeah.
Sunday. That's the influx of tourists. And again, I think this problem's gonna go away until ski season on
Then it's
Saturday and Sunday.
Sunday afternoon.
3 o'clock on both of those
And
days.
so,
You're gonna-
yeah.
It's gonna
See,
start all
that's,
over.
I do the same thing, 4 o'clock on busy weekends, I go up and down Pollard Road.
I've
really
done that
slow.
before.
Yeah.
Just
Really-
drive 15 and
really
honest to God,
slow.
there's 6, 8 cars behind you
Oh,
by the
yeah.
time you get down to the community
There
center.
is, I do it all the time.
Yeah.
Just because I can.
Yeah. So,
That's where I get my,
Now,
Jim?
how about a sign at the Kent Motor Lodge, local traffic only,
Mhm.
period.
it's not enforceable though, so,
it isn't.
no, it's not enforceable, so we can't do that.
It's a town road, it's not a state.
They don't even follow the wrong way sign.
Right. Exactly, exactly.
They don't
Talk about
read,
an
they just
enforcement
start laughing.
nightmare, yeah.
We're tourists, we go where we want.
Exactly. No, we go where Google Maps tells us.
Yes.
Well, it's like herd sheep. It takes one and many will follow.
That's why we're in the predicament we're in, because everybody else followed.
Yeah.
Yeah. Something else at one time, somebody mentioned to me, and it just came to me, and I didn't even
LeBrec
look.
Street.
LeBrec Street, did he move those rocks at the end? I saw someone pull in that way, off of Connector Road into LeBrec Street. You know where the gentleman, he had those 2 lots, he split into 3.
Oh, yeah,
across
yeah,
from Bob
the-
Harrington's trailer that was there.
Yeah.
I guess somebody had said, and I haven't confirmed this, that the rocks that the town had blocking that, he took those and used them in his landscaping and opened it back up.
Oh.
I'm gonna talk to Nate about that tomorrow. Let me
There's no
write
curb
that.
cut to.
We're good there anyway.
No, they shouldn't be.
No, but again, people will drive
They did,
where they want to,
they did.
Yeah,
unless there's rocks in
I'll
the
talk
way.
to Nate about reclaiming those rocks and putting them back where they
Yeah.
belong.
Yeah.
And try to figure out
It was
How
supposed to
to-
be wide enough for a double stroller.
how to let
Remember
him,
that whole thing about
Is that,
someone had narrowed it up and then it had to get widened back up again
I don't remember, but I'm
Yes.
glad you mentioned it.
3 years ago.
Otherwise, we'd make the same mistake.
I'm gonna write it down, double stroller.
All right, any other
I think
public
Paul
wanted
had
to-
something.
Yeah.
Oh, Paul, go ahead.
OJ, on Pollard Road, just a couple of reminders. This is not the first time that this has been discussed, but two other alternatives that have come up in the past is making one section of Pollard Road one way. That way you can't have the through traffic. And the other thing that was talked about in the past was down by where that intersection is where GH is, putting up a sign that shows you can take that right and get to the interstate instead of stopping there, and that way that you would have two paths to the interstate. And some people might take that and go up by Clark's Train Bears rather than go that last little section and get, because it's all backed up. So those are, I mean, the one way on Pollard Road doesn't have to be all the way. It could be a section just in front of the that apartment complex there. I mean, that could just be a one way. And I
You mean like from the Keg Motor Lodge to Church Street, one way? Is that what you mean?
You can make, no, you could just make, yeah, I mean, you can make it from where Church Street is to where Maple Street is, could be one way. And the people can't, they would have to go down Maple Street, but then, once they learn that, guess what, this is only one way now, then it would alleviate all of those problems. It's not gonna, but then the locals gotta remember that it's gonna take them a little while, that they can only go one way too. So, I mean, but if you make it so it's one way, I guess I would probably conceive of making it one way from, let's say Church Street headed towards the Common Man. So that the locals they could go that way to get home, but people couldn't come down around and go the other way. So, I mean, maybe and I'm not sure that's the right way either, but those were suggestions that have been thrown out in the past. And I just want to bring them up to you.
Thank you. Roger.
That one, about 6 weeks ago, we had a problem down in O'Brien Avenue parking. And the little walkway, that car you couldn't get through. And they discussed that, and I haven't heard nothing yet. They were putting signs, they're putting stripes. It's a dead end street. You can't park on the street.
Who did you discuss it with?
I went to see the chief. The
Okay.
first thing I called, I had the cops come up.
Uh-huh.
And the cop couldn't help me much because he didn't know the laws in Lincoln. So I got a little huffy and he got a little huffy. He jumped out of the cruiser like he got tangled with somebody. So I went and did my own business. So my wife came out and the cop said, why don't you call Ron Beard? He can take care of this. This is his department. So 3 or 4 days later, I went down and finally got a hold of the chief of police. And I explained it to him. He said he was gonna get on it. And back a week later, he said he's checking on it. 6 weeks, not a sign, not a stripe, and not a word.
What the issue is that there's an apartment building right there, and there's bollards on that pathway.
Mhm.
What's happening is it's a short-term rental property, and they are parking on the path. So what Roger was looking to have happen is that be striped or signed, no parking on that right away. They do have their own driveway, but they were parking right on that asphalt pathway there and stuff.
And that's a town right of way,
Right.
correct?
Yeah.
In that section?
Yes.
So we could have told Roger after your call, then, if the police officer
Not
had,
signed up.
Huh?
It's not posted, no parking. or
but
anything
it's,
like that.
but it's a town right away and it's a walkway, right?
It's a town road, I mean, it's a walkway.
It's a walkway.
Yeah.
I'll add that to my
And
list
the
to
cop
speak to
know
Nate
why do you want
and,
to go to the fire chief?
Yeah.
You've got me.
Yeah,
Chad.
be considered a pedestrian way.
Yeah. You wait to tell.
All right, we're gonna,
Roger, I'll follow up on that when I talk
Thank
to
you, Tim.
Chief Morris and
Nate.
Nate. I wrote it on my list.
It's been at least 6 weeks, I say 2 months.
Okay. I'll follow up. Mrs. Fairbrother?
Yes, I am Bernice Fairbrother. I live on School Street, and there is a road behind me. It was at one time a big problem whether we were gonna plow it or not. I am the first house on the right-hand side. 2 years ago, there was beginning to be a little pothole. The corner, you go, this is School Street, you come up here like this, you go around my garage
Yep.
and through.
Yeah.
It's very narrow through there,
Yes, ma'am.
but 2 years ago, I went up to the town building and spoke to the road commissioner about the fact that what it was they were driving off of it. And I thought, at first I thought, I will not put my fence up there because it looks ugly. That corner, it makes it look too small.
Mhm.
But I end up with the problem. Because I went up there and I spoke to the road commissioner. And I asked him in the conversation, I told him what was wrong. I said, I don't want to do anything about it. So I would like you to come down, and when you come down, come in and see me, and I'll talk to you about that corner. And he never came. I was there, but he never came at all.
So there's a pothole?
It's a pothole.
Okay.
What they're doing is they're driving up that street and taking off the corner of my land.
Oh, gotcha.
And it's getting, it used to be this far from the garage. It's like this far. They can tell for themselves that there's a part over here that's got posts. There's a part over here that's got fence. I don't want this. I want that little piece of land back again. Originally when that road wasn't even accepted, the land went way over to the back side of the other side of the driveway in the backyard, say straight out. And the land went out to there. I don't want to lose that corner. I don't want to put a fence up there without permission. I already got permission to put a fence and I thought it's making it too crowded looking. When you come down there, it goes like this, narrow.
Yeah.
And I would like the town to do something with that pothole. I've had 2 or 3 guys stop out there, because that's my kitchen. I can look out the kitchen and see that pothole. They have stopped after falling in it. So it's going to create a problem, and it's getting closer and closer to the garage. And I don't have enough land as it is. And I don't want to be responsible for somebody that is going to hit a fence, ruin their car.
Yeah.
All
Your
these other
garage.
things, so
Yeah.
I don't want to be the one to put out markers where I think it should go.
Okay.
You people have the map, probably the same little map that I have when I moved in. And they've, over the years, they've closed that corner in like this. And I do not want to lose any more land. I don't want them, I mean, you can get a big lawnmower through there now, a big blade, but you could get 1.5 through before.
Yes, ma'am.
And just by looking at it, you can see what maybe the town has to do. Because I do not want to be sued, neither do you. I do not want to be sued by somebody coming down there and getting into an accident, the pothole. I had one at one time, I've been back here for 20 years now. Probably the 15th year, this is where the fence comes like this and like this. Those posts have been knocked down. There's one off kilter now. They'll come out onto School Street, but this guy was going so fast, I could hear him ripping his engine. He used to live behind me. Ripped his engine and come like this, and he went through the lilacs and the garage. And he came out in the winter, and he came out through there. He just could not stop quick enough to do anything. Like I say, I don't want you sued, but I don't want to be sued either. So I think at this point, I would prefer to have you people say to me, Denise, this is what we're gonna have to do. Because the town put, I think the town put one of these little bump things around the old Masonic temple, and nothing on this side.
Okay.
Maybe that would be the answer. And it doesn't have to. I think the fence idea, I don't like.
Yeah, I don't
have to do it.
I will follow up. Let me get a hold of our Public Works Director. I gotta speak to him anyway. So I will follow up on that with you. Absolutely. We'll come out and take a look and we'll knock on your door and have you explain it to us right there where we can see
You
it.
must have the same map I have.
Oh, I'm sure.
Town map,
Absolutely.
and you guys can get it out
Yep.
the right ones.
Absolutely.
I'm
Yep,
just-
I will follow up with that.
And I think that probably there should be something to slow traffic down in there too.
Okay. Yeah. I will follow up. I will be in
Very
touch.
much
No,
for
thank you for coming in.
Thank you.
Yeah, thank you for coming in. I got it.
Any other public comment? Do we need to go into?
I don't think we need a non-public, do we?
No,
Oh, yeah, we need a non-public,
no,
yeah,
all right,
Quick,
for
Personnel.
personnel.
personnel issue?
Yeah.
All right, then I'll make a motion that we go into a non-public to discuss a personnel issue.
I'll second.
All those in favor?
Aye. Thank you for coming.
Thank you all for coming.
Thank you all very much.